News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Friday on Wall Street, where the S&P and the Nasdaq both saw a second straight week of gains amid signs of easing U.S.-China trade tensions and a strong jobs report. Now, we're going to get into all of it just ahead. But first, we want to check those closing numbers. We bring them to you each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 82 points. Nasdaq gained 267 points. Dow gained 567 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.31%. The 2-year yield at 3.82%. Now let's start with the U.S.-China trade tensions. They may appear to be softening just a bit. Beijing is reportedly considering how it can address the Trump administration's concerns over China's role in the fentanyl trade. China is reportedly considering sending officials to the U.S. to meet with the Trump administration. Bloomberg's Washington, D.C. Deputy Bureau Chief Laura Davison says the U.S. has point people now to handle those talks.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is really the key person here, particularly when it comes to any of these deals with Asia. He's really driving the bus when it comes to Japan, India, Vietnam as well. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, is sort of taking the point on the European side of talks. But Bessent has really sort of emerged as the key point person and sort of the stabilizing voice within the administration who's trying to advance these talks.
Sources tell the Wall Street Journal the discussions are fluid and China would like to see a softening in President Trump's stance on tariffs. And this is the day small value packages shipped to the U.S. from China are no longer exempt from tariffs. The decision to end the de minimis exception will likely mean higher prices for anyone buying cheap products from China. Some people are already seeing impacts from the tariffs. Bloomberg's Enda Curran.
Lots of business people that we speak to are complaining their inventory is running low, they're running out of goods, they put orders on hold, and people are waiting to see, is there some kind of a breakthrough in the weeks, not even months ahead in terms of these China-US negotiations. So it feels like we're approaching something of an inflection point in all of this, I think.
Bloomberg's Enda Curran. And another upside surprise for jobs in America, also impacting the markets. The non-farm payrolls report for April showed 177,000 new jobs added after the last 2 months were revised lower. The unemployment rate was unchanged at 4.2%. Mohamed El-Arian is chief economic advisor for Allianz and a columnist for Bloomberg Opinion.
This is a good report all around in terms of demand for labor, supply for labor, and muted earnings growth.
Bloomberg Opinion columnist Mohamed El-Arian. President Trump is reportedly pressuring Mexico to allow deeper U.S. military involvement in the fight against drug cartels. Sources tell the Wall Street Journal tensions rose toward the end of a 45-minute-long phone call with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on April 16th, as Trump pushed to have U.S. armed forces take a leading role in battling Mexican drug gangs. Sources say Sheinbaum told Trump that her administration will cooperate on matters like intelligence sharing, but they will not accept a direct military presence. President Trump wants Congress to sign off on some deep cuts to domestic agencies and a boost to the military in his 2026 budget request. Non-defense spending faces $163 billion in cuts. Foreign aid, diversity, and inclusion programs all face elimination or dramatic cuts. National security funding, however, would increase to more than $1 trillion, a 13% increase from last year. President Trump says he is revoking Harvard University's tax-exempt status. That's an escalation of a fight with an elite institution over allegations of anti-Semitism and ideological differences. We got reaction from Adam Posen, the president of the Peterson Institute for International Economics.
It's insane, no matter how valid the criticisms may or may not be, and I'm not going to touch that because I'm not an academic, thank God.
Adam Posen with the Peterson Institute was a guest on Bloomberg Surveillance. The U.S. reported 51 new measles infections today. That's an increase of 6% from last week. The CDC says at least 935 people have contracted measles since the outbreak began in January. 3 people have died. 2 of them were children. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has pushed for research into unproven treatments, including the use of vitamins, despite the vaccine being 97% effective in preventing measles infection. It's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.